I, 33, am the breadwinner of our household. I have multiple, highly specialized degrees for a niche industry. I make 200k plus, with potential to get in the 600Ms range. My company has not been hit that badly by COVID, so most of us have kept our jobs, but we're held to strict standards. My husband, 36, has a broad degree and work experience. He quit his job right before COVID hit, hoping for a better job in the meantime, and I was supportive. He spent a ton of time applying to various jobs and finally landed an interview at Organization X. This is his dream job in almost every imaginable way, I can't be detailed. However, it's paying about 65k a year, which would be fine, except this job directly puts my job stability at risk. My company and this org are adversarial, at best. My field is extremely secretive, and if clients discovered my spouse was working for a competitor, I would be permanently tainted. I wouldn't be able to get a job in the industry forever. I know this sounds like an exaggeration, but I promise you, it absolutely is not. It'd be like if I worked in protecting the privacy of celebrities and he worked for 30 Mile Zone. If he tapped my car, got into my work devices, he could use that to advance his career, and any trust I have in this field will be gone. Even if I trusted my husband not to do that, my clients and company don't. Worse, because my background is so specialized, this is the only field I can work in. I asked him to drop from consideration for this job, since if he got it, we'd lose my income. 65k a year cannot support us in the city. Plus, he does not have to work for this organization. Even if the job market is awful right now, his background gives him access to a wide range of jobs, but I only have this one, niche field. He was extremely angry and said I was selfish and only cared about money. I told him that if he wanted to go back to school for an advanced degree or just be unemployed for a while, I would support him, but taking this job is impossible. He continued the process behind my back and got the offer. He wants to accept it because he says his career needs to take priority and that I wasn't being a supportive wife. I feel so betrayed, and I've contacted all relevant higher-ups in my company to inform them. I notified them as soon as he got the interview because it's better coming from my email than from a background check. I told him he could decline the offer, with me watching him physically decline it, or he could accept the offer and move out immediately. I would pay for him to stay 2 weeks at a hotel, and we would begin divorce proceedings. My company is willing to take care of all of my legal fees. I feel freaking awful. I still love him. I moved decisively because this was the best way to cut my losses, but it still hurts. He called me heartless and cold. It's true that I was prioritizing my career over his, but it felt like the only option at the time. Not the idiot. Some are saying you've decided your job is important than your husband. They're ignoring that he seems to have decided a job offer is more important than your entire career. I was ready to call you the idiot considering we frequently see people unnecessarily prioritize their career over their spouses when compromise is possible. However, he's refusing compromise. To address the people calling this a trust issue, it doesn't matter if she trusts him. Her company and her clients don't. He knew the reasons why he shouldn't pursue this job, yet he went for it anyway. If that's not selfish, I don't know what is. His new career needs to take priority. Why? If it's possible for you two to just separate for a while, maybe that's something you can do before actually filing for divorce. Or you can file and drag it out until he realizes that he cannot support himself on that income, let alone the both of you, since you wouldn't be able to find another job in your field. Either way, if he's refusing to compromise, you two cannot live together anymore. Not the idiot. Not the idiot. You've been in your career field longer than he has. He is straight up moving on with taking a job with your direct competitor, which will ruin your career. He's calling you heartless, only caring about money and your career, but he's only caring about his possible career, not thinking about you and yours at all. This is bigger than just career and jobs. He has very little respect for you. I have a chronic illness that often leaves me fatigued and in pain. Combined with diagnosed depression from this chronic illness and past trauma, at times I am unmotivated to shower, clean my condo, etc. I know it sounds gross, but unless you've been there, you won't understand. I do attend therapy and try to find the motivation and energy, but once every few months things get disastrous. I live alone, so it all falls on me. I have a cleaning person that comes once a month, but she will come more if I ask her. All of this makes me feel vulnerable, and I try to hide this part of my illness from my friends. One friend, however, I ended up venting to. Said I felt gross, but literally could not leave bed without feeling exhausted. I said I was going to schedule my cleaning person to come, but my friend insisted on coming over herself. I offered to pay her what I do the service, but she refused. I did end up ordering us takeout as I wanted to compensate her in some form. She cleaned my kitchen, organized my living room and did a load of laundry. I thanked her immensely, more than once. Later that night, I check Facebook and see said friend had posted before and after shots of my condo, saying this is what a good friend does, they spend their day off helping a friend in a bad spot. She didn't tag me, but we have mostly mutual friends, all of whom know my condo. I have a one-of-a-kind sculpture that pretty much spells out it was me. There were also comments from others that did mention my name. I felt humiliated that more people had seen my condo at its worst. I already felt horrible having my friend see it in such a state, and it took a lot to open up. I texted her and asked her to remove the post. She asked why, and I explained what I just said, stating about a million more times I was grateful. She got mad and said that it's her social media and that she can do what she wants. I started getting really upset and frustrated and told her that I wish I had never told her. I ended up crying, reporting the post and going to sleep. The next morning, it was taken down, and my friend had texted me saying she was never going to help me again. A lot of our friends have sided with her, saying I'm ungrateful and over-emotional. Was I an idiot? First off, not the idiot. A good friend does things because they want to and would never put a friend on the spot like that knowing how you struggle with mental health. Trust was definitely broken there. Especially because people probably knew it was your apartment, especially mutuals. The friends who are siding with the girl for doing a crappy thing are not your friends either. If she didn't feel the need for outside validation of the good things she does for people she claims to care about, maybe this would have never happened. Not the idiot. A good friend would have posted just an after shot. A great friend would have posted nothing at all. Don't let her back into the apartment again. She posted something personal that you shared with her. She literally aired your dirty laundry. She should understand that. People knew it was your apartment. You told her you paid someone to clean it. She offered to come help. Helping is not airing dirty laundry. You're not ungrateful. You're upset. I'm curious why mutual friends are calling you ungrateful. Is she going around saying that you've never said thank you? I'm thinking that might be it. A good friend doesn't help someone and then trumpet on social media how good that action makes them. A good friend certainly can understand how putting someone's personal abode out there without their permission might upset them and would have taken the pictures down, along with apologizing for her actions. You were not an idiot, she was. I, 26, have been with my girlfriend, 25, for 6 years. About 8 months ago, my girlfriend experienced a very traumatic event. I can't say what happened, but it was so bad that it rendered me entirely mute and reclusive after she gave her statement. She literally did not speak for 2 months. She had to quit work due to post-traumatic stress disorder and her inability to communicate verbally. Therapy has been helpful. She's made progress. Now she can answer yes/no questions and give short replies. She supplements her verbal communication with facial expression and body movement, so I understand her quite well. My father recently had surgery on his leg and was at home recovering. My mother asked if we could spend a day helping him because she needed to go somewhere. We agreed to help, but before I went there I warned them about her mutism. They've met her before, so I knew it would catch them off guard if she was oddly quiet. I didn't go into details, but I asked that they were patient. They said they would. About a week ago my girlfriend and I drove 45 minutes to their house. We exchanged air hugs and my girlfriend waved at my mom and dad. My mom gave us a list of things to mind while she was away and said she'd be back by the evening. The three of us spent most of the day talking. Well, my dad and I talked. We don't have the best relationship, but things have been neutral for the past decade or so. My dad asked my girlfriend a question and she just shrugged. He said, "Aw, cat got your tongue." We awkwardly laughed it off, but when she left to use the bathroom, I reminded him not to make any comments about her silence. Sometime later he made another comment that was so rude I can't repeat it here, but it involved comparing her to someone with autism in a degrading way. I told him that if he made one more statement then we were leaving. After my girlfriend brought him dinner and his medication, she said in a quiet, yet audible voice, "Here you go." My dad's reply. "Well, would you look at that? It talks." Yes, he referred to her as in it. I was furious. I didn't even say anything as I escorted her out to the car and drove us home. I could hear my dad calling out to us, but I ignored him. He tried calling, and I ignored all of them. About 15 minutes after we got home, my mother called me, screaming that I left my dad alone. Apparently he had soiled himself because he was in too much pain to bring himself to the bathroom. I admit I felt a bit bad, but I stood my ground and explained the situation. She said that she didn't care and that I had no right to put girlfriend's feelings over my dad's recovery. What if something bad happened? I told her he should have taken my warning seriously and that he had no right to mistreat others and excuse his bad behavior as a joke. She yelled and hung up in frustration. Neither of them have contacted me since, and I'm starting to worry if I truly was in the wrong. I don't hate my parents, I was just trying to defend my girlfriend. Did I really overreact? Am I the idiot? Not the idiot, it was a 45-minute drive home, and your mother called 15 minutes after you got home, which means he was alone for an hour or less. A grown adult man soiled himself not because he couldn't go to the bathroom, but because he felt it was the better option than going to the bathroom in pain. Honestly, his screwed sense of humor makes me wonder if he did it on purpose out of spite to make sure your mother would be on his side because she'd be upset after coming home to that. Not the idiot. Obviously, your parents are okay with catering to the disability of your father, even if temporary, but discriminate against your girlfriend for hers. Yes, right now, she has a disability, again, even if temporary, and your father acted rudely and demeaning to her, completely discounting her feelings and yours. Father owes your girlfriend an apology, and your mother owes you one for discounting your feelings about your girlfriend and the traumatic event she went through. Not the idiot. He insulted her mutism 3 times, the last time referring to her as an it. I think that's definitely grounds to leave. The dad knew his son and girlfriend were there to help him for free and was warned about her condition beforehand and given 2 chances to stop being an idiot, then decided he was going to continue. He could have called his wife after OP left, but chose not to. He clearly had a phone, as he called OP multiple times. He also could have waiting to pee until his wife got home, since he is a grown man who seemingly has no indications of incontinence issues. So last year for my 24 birthday, my boyfriend, 30, told me that he had planned something special for me. I kept asking him to give me clues, but he insisted it was a surprise. So on the night of, I got all dressed up and was really excited because he isn't really the romantic type. I did not, however, expect to be taken to a mixed martial arts fight night. I hated everything about it, I felt horribly out of place, and the whole time I just really wanted to go home. I felt angry because I have never, not once, expressed the slightest interest in MMA. MMA is his thing. He's completely obsessed with it. He once tried to get me to watch a match with him online, and I fell asleep within a couple of minutes. And I felt like he was using my birthday as an excuse to do what he had actually wanted to spend that night doing, and he just pretended he was actually doing it for me by dragging me along. I wasn't expecting a 5-course dinner at a super expensive restaurant, but I was hoping he would plan something that was at least in line with my interests. He got really upset and said that I was being ungrateful. He said he wanted to expose me to something different that I could enjoy with him. And then he got really moody with me, and the fight ruined what little was left of our evening. Now my birthday is coming up in 2 weeks. With a lockdown happening, there isn't much we can do, so I suggested we brainstorm ideas for my birthday. He said that he didn't see the point in him planning anything, because last year he had tried to make me happy, and I had spat it in his face. So now I'm feeling really frustrated all over again. So, am I the idiot for being angry at him for taking me to an MMA fight for my birthday? Not the idiot, you already hit the nail on the head. He used your birthday as a reason to give a gift not you but to himself. Birthday, Valentine's, Christmas are all days where when in a relationship you take a step back from what you want and think about what your partner wants. What he did is pure selfishness, and what he is doing now is gaslighting you. If anyone pulled that stunt on me, I'd be wanting to throw him in the ring as a bonus show. Alas, it wouldn't be allowed, and I'd have to just leave and never look back. Not the idiot. A birthday is a celebration of the person. Even the practice of blowing out the candle was originally done as an offering to the gods. You would make a wish in the hope the gods would grant your wish. Now I got sidetracked. Since the birthday is a celebration of your life, it stands to reason it should be celebrated with things you have a reasonable expectation they will like. This is, as you say, just a blatant excuse to do things only he wants. Furthermore, if he is selfish enough to not remotely care about doing something for you on your birthday, that is an issue. Not the idiot. Your boyfriend gave himself a present for your birthday, and for him to claim otherwise is ridiculous. He didn't try to make you happy, he wanted to make himself happy and likely used your birthday as justification to spend the money on the tickets. Sure, there's nothing wrong with exposing your partner to one of your interests in hopes it could be a shared interest, but that's not what was happening here. Doing that involves talking to your partner about it in advance, and it shouldn't be on a birthday, unless the partner specifically agrees. My 24 nephew, 5, has always been claustrophobic. Even as a baby he hated being swaddled or cuddled too long. He'd get fussy and cry until he was put down and able to move freely. My sister thinks he's just being dramatic and tells him he needs to overcome this phase, even though it's a true issue. Recently he's taken a neurological test because he wasn't developing at the right speed, I guess. I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, the test determined something wrong and they took some X-ray or something and saw a mass in his brain. He needs an MRI. Flash forward to 2 days ago. My sister, 34, asks me to go with them for support. Obviously, I'm all for it. We drive over an hour to this place. My nephew is miserable in his car seat but dealing quietly by playing on his iPad. I ask my sister if she explained to him what's happening, mentally prepare him to be in an enclosed machine for 45 minutes. She said no, and he'll be fine. I warn her this will not end well if he's not prepared properly. She shrugged it off and says they'll knock his back out if he moves too much. I tell her that won't happen because they need to test him for anesthesia, allergies, etc. It's a quiet drive and when we arrive, as predicted, my nephew has a mental breakdown when they try to put him in the MRI machine. He's sobbing, shaking, sweating and trying to hide behind the trash can. He got so terrified that he wet himself. It honestly broke my heart. My sister was incredibly mean to him about this. She didn't reassure him or comfort him. She grabbed him and tried to force him onto the bed, which just made him scream, "Please God, protect me," as he cried. At the end of it, the doctor said they could not proceed with the MRI because he would not settle down. We left. In the car, my sister ripped him into. "Why are you so stupid? You wasted my time for nothing. Are you happy now you can say goodbye to all your things?" He cried himself to exhaustion and I silently fumed until he was fully asleep. Then I ripped into her that this was her fault for not talking to him about the process, knowing he's claustrophobic, and even if he wasn't, an MRI is scary to children and even adults. I told her she was mean and acting cruel to her son. She burst into tears saying she was so stressed about this and she couldn't help it. I said it's her job as the parent to keep it together for her son, not take her frustrations out on him when he's also scared. He's asked me if he was going to die because of the mass in his brain. After she dropped me off, she sent me a long text calling me an idiot for saying she's being mean and a bad mom, and since I don't have kids I wouldn't understand her struggle. Am I the idiot for calling her out on her mean and cruel acts? Not the idiot. What you witnessed was, classified by social workers, emotional abuse. You standing up for him probably helped him more than you imagine. Phobias are phobias, not every single one has a rhyme or a reason. She 100% should have warned him and told him it was the only way they could see how to help him. If he's able to deal with a car seat for a while with enough warning, then he could have done his best to keep it together for the MRI. Not the idiot. It's one thing for her to be stressed, and it's another thing for her to completely ignore her child's emotional needs, then verbally abuse him for not acting correctly. I had my nursing placement in an outpatient clinic with kids going to MRIs and different tests this summer, and even the bravest kiddos get scared. I can't even imagine what it must have been like for your nephew. 5-year-olds can't seem strong, but they can still need so much support and love to get through it.